So there's 4 steps to selling a house. You've done 1, 2, 3, and your home still isn't selling. This is How to Sell a House Part 2. We've got a gorgeous property on the market. It's priced well. It's one of a kind. In a market, it's still not selling. About 40 days today on the market, and we're about to go to another listing to prep it and get that one ready. So the number one thing is, why are you selling? Are you able to get to your goals and your means? Does that all make sense? And then number 2 is, did you prep the home, clean the home, prepare the home, do updates, upgrades if you needed to, without going too far or doing too much? Did you stage the home? Did you get great digital assets? That's all number 2. Then step number 3 is marketing the home. No one has more reach than Luxury Presence, Live Sotheby's, International Realty, and then all the other things we're doing with Instagram, social media, and it's on all the Zillow's, Realtor.com, and Redfin's. Marketing is out there. Lots of people coming to opens the first several weeks, dwindling down to somewhere between 3 to 6 people coming to our open houses, maybe 1 call a week. So we're in a tough market. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, how do you get this home sold if it hasn't been selling? You've got to pay attention to what else is going on. So in this market, in this neighborhood, we are talking about the West Side again, not to beat it to death, but we're going to be in Midtown on the next video. Very similar composition of homes, Spanish style. But down the street on Center, there's 2 fixer properties in the 7.5 range. And then we've got a property for 1.5 on Lewis. Immaculate. People are falling in love with it. It still felt like we were about to get 3 offers at the same time. One person fell off. Kind of joke, a broker probably wasn't really prepared with the financing, that part of it. The other 2 were completely in love with it. Really, really wanted it. Didn't want to pay that price. Didn't want to pay for it without having the garage. Fireplace came into play. It's capped off. It's pretty, but people wanted use of that. And also washer dryer hookups outside, not inside, not upstairs. Not ideal. So a couple of things, but minor. All the other embellishments and improvements totally justify the price. You can't find a property like this in Midtown, Downtown, or West End. So it's totally one of a kind. So what's our secret weapon right now? Well, we know there's another property that's single level that's going to be coming on in the 1.4, 1.5 range. And the seller of the property is smart because they realize there's nothing between 1.3 and 1.6 in this whole area because everyone's squeezing their prices down to 1.2. So what happens is buyers get picky and they think that everything's going to sell for that price. But likely these properties are so one of a kind, they're so turned up with the shortage of inventory and the time it takes in the market. Normally that hurts sellers. In this case, it's actually going to help the sellers because the inventory is staying thin. The inactivity of buyers to put things into escrow, and because we don't have tons of inventory coming on or new listings, it's thin enough that we can maintain the price. So what's going to happen is those buyers are going to get worn down. They're going to be like, you know what? I want this house. I want to move. I'm tired of looking. And they're going to come in and they're going to pay those prices. Now, those premium properties that are fully renovated, immaculately looking, have great locations, perfect finishes, great size homes that are above and beyond what the other homes are, they deserve those premium prices. Now, if you have a home that's 100 years old and it's original tile, yeah, someone might aesthetically like that. Not going to get the premium price. If you've got a home that's very worn, lived in, and deferred maintenance, you're not going to get premium price, and you might not even get middle or marginal. It's probably going to be lower, like those other ones that are selling in the 7s. So, how to sell so I don't want to jump on it too much, but how to sell a house part 2 really is about what you're doing in that middle ground between, do I want to do this? How do I get it prepped, get my marketing going, and what do I do here in the middle before I get to the end, which is essentially getting into an escrow, which is a whole nother set of 4 to 10 to 20 or 100 steps, depending on how far in the detail you want to get into my world. But what I want to get into now is we're in that point of marketing. So since I know there's going to be comparable properties coming on for a higher price, we're not going to do a price reduction. Yeah, We're not doing a price reduction. We're going to go on 40 days holding value. People think that if it's on longer than 2 days, if it's on longer than 2 weeks, or if it's longer than a month, that it's all over. Well, data actually shows you in the long run, not per se. What can happen is if you have a short window and you start doing reductions between 30 and 90 days, yeah, you might see results from dropping it, but dropping the price doesn't mean it's going to sell it. The people are either going to buy it or they're not. And if you start doing discounts, that buyer is just going to get that discount later on. It's not necessarily a time thing. So dropping the price is appropriate for particular homes, especially ones that have red flags and have a lot of needs and have a lot of deferred maintenance. But if they're immaculate, beautiful homes, and they're one of a kind, and they're in one of a kind neighborhood, you need to hold true to your price and keep it there. So that's what we're going to exercise there. With the other property, we're moving down to Catalina. Oh, I gave it away. Whoops. We've got a property coming up in the midtown area. Excellent. We call the island streets. Catalina, Santa Cruz, Anacapa. Streets like that tend to be the tree-lined streets, wider streets, a lot of pride of ownership, and have one coming soon. Now, it is more traditional with the tile, and people do love that, but there's a lot of prep work that's going to have to go into it. It's lived in, it's got a tenant in place, and we could throw it on there on the MLS right now. Now, chances are the location will sell it. However, in this particular market, we're probably going to have to do more prep in the way of pressure washing, painting, spending a little bit of money, not a ton, and it doesn't have to be done, you don't have to do a smooth coat like here where I'm at. This is our own home and we wanted to get it perfect, so you don't have to go to that perfect level. The homeowner that buys it will do that. They'll take it there, but you don't have to spend out of 1 or 2 coats of paint to give it the look is good enough. That'll get it there. And that's where we want to get it. We want to get it to where the photos are going to show, instead of showing dark, dingy, lived in, we want to show bright, airy. You've got your tans and your light greens, just like here. And that's what makes properties look appealing, emotional. We want to be priced precisely so that we get enough interest and potentially multiple offers, but that it does sell quickly. You don't want it to stay on for so long. But at the end of the day, if your motivation is price, then hold your ground. Hold your ground. If you need it done yesterday, then you're going to come in more aggressive at a lower price. But we see this a lot with agents and sellers wanting to just cut. And, I don't think so. I think with the market thinning out, even though we have some struggles ahead of us, we've got great chance at getting home values by staying the course and not just cutting it. We're going to add a little bit. I'm going to get some clips into our midtown neighborhood and add them to this for finishing off. So don't go anywhere. We're about to get right into the good stuff. Okay, so we'll jump right into the car. So I'm driving off of, just leaving Ventura Avenue, literally on Thompson right now, passing the wave, passing the construction, newer construction, then a newer project to be between the clock tower and Surfers Point over here. I get a little side view, maybe you can see some of that. So you can see how it's changing, it's evolving. We're in downtown. West End is awesome because we literally go right from West End to downtown adjacent, passing the beach right now. Surfers Point Cafe, the juice shop where I get my juice, doing a weekly juice. I either have a juice a day, but now I'm going to try to do like the juice cleanse where like I fast and do the juice all day for a day. I'm trying to cut that weight for C Street Classic is coming up. Got to compete in that, maybe do shortboard. Usually longboard I'm a shoe-in for 1, 2, or 3, not so confident where I'm just going to win it all the time. I still got to earn it. Haven't won one in a while till the coalition event. But yeah, healthy competition's good. You get motivated, you start eating better, you start kind of looking out for things like that. You get in the water a little bit more, start carving out time, because it's really easy, especially in this business, to just get be in a vehicle, be sitting on a computer doing all this sit down stuff. That's not what it's about. That's not why I do this business. I like meeting people. I love to meet people and love to hear how it was growing up here, how it was growing up with there, what drew them to Ventura, what neighborhoods they want to move to, what their dream, home is. All of those things, helping people with those transitions of, time, family, and housing. So that's why you do it. And a big part of that is living. So we're just about to like cut out of what's called the downtown area. So I just passed California Street, going by the park. They're gonna have Boots and Brews over here, Big Country, a little pricey, but Big Country show. It's good. We may or may not go to that one. What's that guy's name with the Chevy Silverado? He's got that white Chevy Silverado song. That'll be cool. There's a cool little corridor here. We talked about this in videos past. Ash and Thompson, because you got Corrales, got Revolution, Surf Shop, Urbane Cafe, and Spencer McKenzie's little four-banger right there. Then it gets in a little semi-seedy area with some of those old school hotels, but they've got some newer construction. And then we're kind of weaning out of downtown. So in not much time, in about 3 minutes, I'm looking at the clock here, is when I went from, so I just passed the area with all the new restaurants, Mother's Tacos, coffee shops, new kind of like funk zone area. Literally going from West End, downtown, funk zone area, which San Juan and San Nicolas kind of come together, where Cabrillo Middle School is, or Isla might go to school. And now we're in Midtown. So we literally, like within 3 minutes, went from West End, downtown, Midtown. So if you can understand, it's all kind of like its own bubble per se. It's its own little space in an area. It's just like which part of it. So locals might fear one area, one neighborhood, or one street over the other. It'd be like, oh no, like you can't be here, you got to be there. And it's like people come from out of town, you're like, it's the same like place. It's like 2 to 3 minutes away, or you're like 1 or 2 streets away, and that can make all the difference. And really the secret is just knowing which streets in which neighborhoods of those parts of that same place or that same area, because at the end of the day we're all having the same lifestyle. Where I lived on the East End for a little while, at the Montalvo area, I was just had my storage downtown, but I was getting the boards going to work, doing the same thing. So you still have that lifestyle. It's just how much of a grind is it to go to work, or how much of a grind is it to go play? And that's the difference. We say live Sotheby's, like where you living, how you living, how you doing it. Some people are down on the beach, they've got dock homes, and they got their boats, and they are ready to go. And that's what it's all about. So for us on the West End, it's about that bike ride, that jog, churches there. You got kind of everything you need right there. Midtown's very similar to the West End. They're similar in that they both are on either side of the they're both on either side of downtown, and downtown's kind of where all the action is. So we're just pulling up on Catalina right now. I'm going to break out the stick and kind of show you guys a little bit about the condition that it's in now and how important that prep is, because no matter what price you go to market at the end of the day, we want the home to look as good as it possibly can, and there are strategies. So the one thing that we're really trying to debate now is like, okay, do we go on as is in September, or late August, September, and kind of be here? Because the back to school it happened. Like, how long are you going back to school for? Like 3 weeks, 4 weeks? No, like in a week or two, you kind of know your schedules and stuff. So by September, it's picking up again. But if you take that time, that 4 to 6 week period to prep for October, and you launch in October, you've got a little bit of October and a little bit of November, is kind of, because once you hit that holiday, that's when the seasonality starts to hurt. And chances are, with a November election coming up, that things are just going to slow down even more. And I know that might be contrary to what I was saying about holding your price, but if you can hold your price, because once all that's said and done, it's kind of like, politics, they're going to do what they're going to do. Why am I going to let that affect, where I want to live? I know I want to live here. I know I want to buy a house. So it's like, let's just get in and do it. We've looked at the data. We've looked at where things are. We can say, yes, this is a safe price. And honestly, like, things haven't moved off. Things haven't shot up, since the COVID, and things haven't dropped a ton. They've really leveled off. They're likely to be level. It's not easy to buy a home. It's not easy to transition to sell and repurchase, but it's totally doable if you just get focused and get in the game. So check out the rest of this video. If you want to DM me or you want to get together, I don't work with just anybody. I'll just let you know. I get hit up all the time. I'll be surfing in the water and people want to talk real estate. I'll be walking back with my board in like 4 or 5 conversations. So I like talking with people that that have that good element of trust and are just really straightforward. I don't do the game thing. So if you want to reach out, just be genuine, reach out, and I'll help you as much as I can. Even if you don't hire me, I'll point you in the right direction. But I'm not a time waster. Here we are, Jeff Belzer with Kevin Drews with Charles in Charge Property Solutions. So what's really cool about having him here today, actually from New Orleans, but he's been in real estate industry in the past, and he's going to help prep properties. We actually met this way, how you and I are meeting as well. And what we're going to do is we're just going to talk about this home on Midtown and what we're going to do to prep it to get it ready. We were already talking about the one on the west end and how close that is to here and the difference between, you know, markets. So that one's at 150 as a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, and this one's 2-bedroom, 1-bath at nearly the same price, but here it's at high level of desirability. So we're going to get into it and we're going to prep some of these things. Anything you want to add or say?
There's some really simple improvements that could go a long way to making the front curb appeal pop, and it's easy for the seller and easy for loved by the buyer.
Yeah, so I'm super excited to have him here today. We're going to get right into it and just keep watching and you'll see what happens.